Daniel Warren Johnson and Juan Gideon continue their prehistoric adventure as Batsaur and Super-Saur meet for the first time while battling Giganta and Brontozarro, who are trying to kidnap people for the Dark Embryo. Daniel Warren Johnson and Juan Gideon continue their very fun Jurassic League Elseworld storyline with an issue that sees the formation not just of the world's finest, but the Trinity, as well as our Superman, Batman and Wonder Woman dinosaurs meet for the first time during a very action-heavy issue. The story is following a very traditional setup of a team and introducing all of these characters in ways we've seen heaps of times before, but I really don't mind since they're all dinosaurs and it's so much fun seeing what dinosaur is who and what their changed origins are, like Superman setting up this version of Metropolis as a city where humans and dinosaurs can live together happily. The hints at the villain's big plans with the Dark Embryo, which I guess is probably a build up to Darkseid, I believe, is cool, and I like what I assume is this world's version of the Lazarus Pit combined with maybe Parasite, being that it's feeding off of human life. So I think that's kind of cool, and like fun changes like that which make it really kind of refreshing, and these things that we've seen 100 times over a bit more refreshing. Juan Gideon continues on as artist with more fantastic character designs, especially for the villains, as well as some really cool action. I really love how Juan captures the action and how it feels like a kid playing with dinosaur action figures in their backyard, just slamming them together in big explosive fights, and just so cool looking. The Jurassic League issue 2 was another really solid action-heavy issue that formed the world's Trinity and gave us a little bit of a hint of what the villain's big plan is for the humans and the world. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. The Jurassic League issue 2 finds the young cave boy following after Batsaur, gibbering away in his own caveman language about where he comes from and how he remembers his family. Batsaur can't understand a word the boy is saying, wanting to be left alone when suddenly they are attacked by a raptor. Batsaur manages to tie its mouth closed with a bowler before it can eat the boy. The boy knows he needs to be more careful and pay attention, continuing to talk about how the demons came for his people and they weren't dinosaurs and they come from the nearby volcano. Batsaur screams at the boy to leave him alone, but the boy doesn't understand a thing he says either. Giving up, Batsaur continues to leave so he can concentrate as the ground begins shaking. Batsaur wonders what could even cause that, taking off through the sky with his grapple hook as at Metropolis, Brontozarro and Giganta begin scooping up the people for their harvest. Super-Saur, however, throws Brontozarro off of him, angry that they dare attack his home. He smashes Giganta in the face, toppling the giant, which causes the people in its grip to go flying through the air. Super-Saur races into action, grabbing all of the people with his hands, feet and tail and even his mouth and depositing them back to safety on the ground. He warns them to stay back as Brontozarro punches him in the face, telling him that his love for the small beasts make him weak. The hero rights himself and confronts both of the villains as Batsaur appears above, discovering what the tremors were coming from. He is shocked to see dinosaurs just like him as he quickly saves a group of people from being hit by a flaming log. The villains take note of Batsaur as Super-Saur asks if his friend or foe, but Batsaur knows that he doesn't have friends, but no one harms weaklings in his presence. Brontozarro breathes fire at the hero and Batwalker blocks it with his cape, saving more people as the flames begin to spread through the village. Batsaur screams at the people and gets them to run as he is caught in an explosion, having a flaming log topple on him as he blacks out. Super-Saur meanwhile is grabbed by Brontozarro, slammed into the ground over and over by his tail, as Giganta reveals that they have captured all of the people in the village. Super-Saur's people call for help as his parents tell him to be strong, but Brontozarro smashes him into the ground and knocks him out as well. The villains make their escape, knowing that they are going to the Dark Embryo, as elsewhere, Reverse Slash returns to the embryo with the beaten and dying Jokerzard. He knows that the plasma from the slaves trapped inside the massive tree will save Jokerzard. Reverse Slash feeds him some of the liquid and Jokerzard returns to life. A Trososaurus appears, telling the villains it's time for war. He reminds them that the tree isn't there to mend their weak bodies, since they are going to use it to bring forth their master. He demands the villains bow as a Trososaurus tells them that it's time to take the fight to the heroes. Batsaur awakens from a nightmare of his parents being killed by Jokerzard to find himself still trapped in the fire under the log. He finds the tree is too heavy to lift as the boy from before tries to help him, trying to pull him out. Batsaur tells him to save himself, but the boy refuses to leave him, burning his hands on the flaming log as he tries to move it. The hero knows that no one is coming to save them as Super-Saur arrives, lifting the tree from Batsaur as if it was nothing. Super-Saur helps Batsaur up as they introduce themselves to one another. Super-Saur wants to know where the villains took his family, and luckily the boy knows, pointing in the direction in which the demons fled. Super-Saur says he can understand the boy, shocking the boy and Batsaur. He reveals that he was raised by humans, so of course he understands them, and Batsaur knows the humans aren't his family since they don't share any blood, but Super-Saur knows they don't need to share blood to be family. He tells Batsaur how his ship crash landed on Earth from a dying world when he was a baby, and the humans were the first beings he saw, and their love inspired the city he has made where humans and dinosaurs can live together in harmony, but now it's been ruined by the so-called demons. Batsaur reveals his tragic origin as well, knowing they have a common enemy and they should join forces, something Super-Saur is more than happy to do in order to save some people. Wonder Dawn meanwhile flies her invisible Thunderbeak across the vast ocean, but soon finds dry land, spotting Giganta and Brontozarro on the beach. She calls for them, asking what they are doing with all of the humans they have, but Giganta demands that she leave since it's none of her business. Wonder Dawn knows that the people are in trouble, grabbing her club and smashing Giganta in the face. Brontozarro demands to know who she is since she's going to pay for what she just did, as Wonder Dawn introduces herself, saying she used the blunt edge of her club, but if they continue to harm the humans, he will feel the fangs of Bone Crusher. Wonder Dawn leaps from her Thunderbeak and readies for a battle as Super-Saur and Batsaur join her, knowing it looks like she could use some help.